Welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. Today I'm going to be talking about gaslighting. What is gaslighting, what it does to you, how it's used, that sort of deal. So, let's get into it. So, what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when a person makes you doubt your own memories by contradicting them frequently and methodically. This leads to you doubting your own sanity, your own memory. It causes a lot of disassociation. This is a very strong weapon with verbal abuse and verbal misuse. It's often used when deflecting responsibility for a person's bad behavior. So, an example, one time I was talking to my mom about these kids that I babysat because, their parents believed in spanking, but it wasn't nothing like I grew up with. I was kind of struggling with that because I didn't know if I necessarily wanted to spank or not spank. And my mom goes, "Well, I never hit you." And that is a very clear example of what gaslighting is, because she hit me quite a bit growing up. And so they confidently state their lies and their misrepresentation of themselves. And that, especially if it's a parent, growing up with that can be very confusing and be very jolting, because they do successfully brainwash you into thinking that you are wrong all the time. They do successfully brainwash you into thinking that they are right and you are wrong for too long of a time, where it gets cemented in to our foundational thinking habits, which is why recovery takes so long and is so difficult. Gaslighting is used to control or manipulate somebody's feelings and indirectly their actions. So they directly interfere and mess up your feelings about things by contradicting you every chance they get. Along with, if you are more depressed, if you are more confused, your actions are going to be more predictable in a way. They're gonna see what you're up to, If you do A, B, and C when you're sad and they're gaslighting you constantly, you're going to be doing those three things quite a bit versus anything else. And usually, in my experience, gaslighting kind of kept me quiet and kept all my opinions, all my wants to myself, because I was so ashamed of being me. I was ashamed that I was a terrible person, because that's what I was told. I was ashamed of my very being, and that, on the extreme end, is what gaslighting can do to a person. Now, the next phrase that I'm going to talk about, I am 100% certain all of you have heard this. I'm sorry you feel that way. Now, what does this mean? First, this is not an apology. This is not someone taking responsibility for their actions if they hurt you. This is someone shrugging off the responsibility and implying that you are mentally unstable if you took this offensively or took their actions offensively. And the blame really goes onto you again, versus them owning up and saying, "Hey, I hurt you and I'm sorry about that." Instead, they're going to try to flip it around and say, "I'm sorry you and all your emotional ways feel this way." And that's another thing, is they'll call you sensitive. They'll make fun of the symptoms that you have because of their gaslighting. And so when you're found in a relationship like this, it's really not sustainable, because all you're going to get is the same cycle of feeling crazy, then getting bullied for showing symptoms of gaslighting abuse and all of these things. And it's not at all healthy. Now, there are people who have narcissistic traits who aren't necessarily full-blown narcissists. And we know this. A lot of survivors have narcissistic traits. Just because we're around it so much, we pick up some bad habits from others around us. And where you can really tell the toxicity is too much is if they're willing to open up their mind well enough to actually give you a sincere apology versus, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you're so sensitive to my normal talk. Because if they really were sorry, you know what they would say? I'm sorry I hurt you. And there'd be two eyes in there instead of, I'm sorry you do this. It's, I'm sorry I did this. That is the correct way to apologize to someone, and that's a good test or indicator that you're dealing with a healthy person versus an unhealthy person. So, this was sort of a shorter video than my regular videos. I just kind of wanted to throw some basic gaslighting stuff out there and what it is. We've been seeing a lot of gaslighting, even in our everyday lives now. So it is important to keep up on the terms, what they mean, and applying them in order to analyze what we should do and how we should respond. So I hope everybody is having a better week this week. It's, middle of the week. There are resources below along with the Discord chat, the Facebook page, and the Reddit page. And if you want to share stories on Reddit or Discord with me, I happily invite you to. I'm very much looking forward to talking to more survivors, telling more stories, and even if you want a video made for your story that is doable, just let me know. So, have a good one.